you can do that.
Second round action, Rafael Garcia and Melvin Lumzy. Garcia in the white trunks, the red flame trim, and standing head and shoulders above Lumzy, who nonetheless is trying to get inside and try to do damage.
And Garcia's cornered certainly heard you. They said, we know you can beat this guy. We want to see some boxing skills. Give us a whole round of nothing but jabs with an occasional right. And it's going to see if he's got the self-control to follow what they're telling him.
You know that they think he's pretty special to give that kind of instruction to, because they're trying to get him to win this fight and work on something at the same time. You must feel very confident about where you're going to do that. And even though Lumzy is 2-7-1, as you just saw in the fight before this, there are no givens in this sport. Case being brought out by Julio Coronel's upset victory and convincing upset victory over Vernie Torres.
Well, Garcia's almost 10 years younger than Lumzy. He has what appears to be about a 6-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Over 20-pound weight advantage. And his corner would just like them to get some work.
Well, there's that occasional right hand they asked for. Wild right hand by Lumzy, who, to at least credit, is not afraid, and he pays a price for it.
Lumzy looking at referee Robert Williams as if to say, that's another slip. He missed the punch.
He might have that routine down.
He's the only guy in the house that didn't see the punch land.
Good shot there by Garcia. Tremendous body shot. And now Lumzy is in serious trouble as he ties up.
And serious survival mode.
Lumzy got brave for a second. Fans love that, but you can see why cornermen hate it. Lumzy got brave, and he was given a seat on the canvas. Meanwhile, Garcia's people would like to see more jabbing.
Well, they'd also like to see him keep his hands up, because against the more experienced heavyweight, he's going to get tagged. And they're yelling at him, keep your hands up. Bad habit to get into, and a lot of that comes, Dave, from putting him in lopsided mismatches. You get tagged a couple of times, you're going to learn to keep your hands up.
And if you're in fights where guys don't make you pay at least a little for your mistakes, you'll keep making them. Lumzy's down again.
This time
that one did look like a slip, and it's called that way as we come to the end of the round.
Come on, man.
Round 3.
Third round action, Pedro Garcia and Kelvin Lumzy from Casino Magic in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. This is Dave Bontempo along with Arnie Rosenthal. Glad you're enjoying this as Garcia, 6'6", towering over Lumzy. Already has a couple of knockdowns to his credit.
I just love listening to the corner of Garcia in this fight. I think it's more entertaining than actually the rounds themselves. Right now, they're in there saying, Larry's in the corner saying to Garcia, I don't ask you for much. Do I ask you for much? Just go out there, turn over the left. Don't even throw your right hand. Just turn it over. He really wants to work on technique, and I give him credit for that.
Well, you want to come away not just with a victory, but a victory that either A, makes a statement, or B, you get to work on things. And not that this fight will be the prototype of it, but sometimes the best friend a fighter can have is a fight in which he looks not too good, because things come out of that that give him work for bigger fights.
Well, I think Garcia's looking pretty good here. I think, you know, some of his faults are showing up, but they're supposed to at this point in his career. I think, though, you know, after getting the first 2 rounds of work out of him, I would go a little bit different than what his corner's doing. I'd let him loose.
Hey, an uppercut might be a nice shot for him.
Or test the body. Very flabby body on Melvin Lumzy. Go downstairs a little bit. Bend your knees, come under.
Lumzy, meanwhile, the perfect opponent stylistically.
Oh, overhand right.
He's down again. as he keeps coming.
He's not getting up this time, Dave. This fight's over.
This is the time he won't make it. Or will he? 10.5. The old 10.5.
Oh, it's over.
He could have. That's what 10.5 usually means.
Big right hand over the top, though. I knew that was going to be it. And I think smart for Lumzy to stay down there. And I think Garcia got enough work in. He needed to stop Lumzy. I don't think you wanted Lumzy going the distance on your record, Dave.
Now, there's a certain point that pride does take over. And you've got so many tools here if you're Garcia. Hey, we never saw the uppercut from him. We did not see a whole lot of his jab. So there are things that you will look for in future fights with him. Take a look. 6'6". And he's a guy that has great size, and they will try to bring him along.
Well, we're going to take a look. You take a look at the action here and look for that right hand that's going to come off the jab. He doubles on the jab and set it up nicely. So I think he did learn a little bit. If nothing else, he didn't throw a wild right. He did set it up off his jab.
And I mentioned how Lumzy was perfect stylistically. He was always right in front of Garcia, and then he takes that shot.
And a lot of good trainers will tell you, it doesn't matter. You double on the jab. It doesn't matter if the jab lands. It's still setting up your right hand.
All right, we're ready for the final numbers. Here's Mark Fearon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute, 55 seconds of the third round. The winner by technical knockout, Rafael Pedro Garcia.
So Rafael Garcia makes it 6 wins in a row as he continues to build on his record and build his confidence.